Hello, good day, everyone. Right now, I will be presenting to you my assigned topic, which is demonstrate reflective thinking and teaching. As educators, we are constantly striving to improve our craft. But how do we move beyond simply teaching and actively cultivate better teaching practices? This presentation argues that the key lies in reflective thinking. We will delve into the process of reflective practice, exploring how analyzing our experiences and decisions can lead to more insightful and impactful teaching methods. First, let's define what is reflective thinking. So, it involves careful consideration of one's own thoughts, action, and its consequences. And the other one, it refers to the active mental process of contemplating over learning gained from personal observation, experience, or study. So this means thinking deeply about your own thoughts, actions, and the effects of those actions have. It's about taking a step back and analyzing what you've learned from your own experiences or from what you've studied. Think of it like looking at a puzzle you've just finished. You're not just admiring the completed picture, you're thinking about how each piece fit together and how it created the final image. So you're learning from the process, not just the outcome. We have here two thinkers or philosophers that express their thoughts or idea about reflective thinking. First is John Dewey, a famous educational philosopher. He believed that learning isn't just about passively soaking up information. He thought it's much more important to actively reflect on what we learn. So, first, the importance of reflection. Dewey emphasized that through learning happens when we think critically about our experiences and knowledge. It's not enough to just hear something or read something. We need to process it, connect it to our own understanding, and apply it to our lives. Second one, passive recipient of knowledge. He thought he thought traditional education often treated students like empty vessel to be filled with information. So he argued that this approach doesn't foster real understanding or critical thinking. The third one is actively create their own theories and practices. So he believed that students should be encouraged to question, explore, and develop their own ideas. He saw learning as a process of active creation, not just passive absorption. So, in short, the thought reflection is crucial for meaningful learning. Instead of just receiving information, we should be actively engaging with it, testing it, and using it to create our own understanding of the world. So, the next one is the Donald Sean. Um, he is reflective practitioner. Is about professionals who don't just follow the rules but actively think about their work and how they can do it better. So, first is continuously analyzing their work. They're always asking, why am I doing this? Is there a better way? They're not just going through the motions. They're constantly looking for improvements, even if it's just a small change. The second one is reflecting on their own experiences. They don't just do things and move on. They take time to think about what happened, what they learned, and how they can apply that learning to future situations. It's like a mental review after a big project or a challenging situation. For example, think of it like a chef who constantly tastes their food and adjust the seasoning. They're not just following a recipe, they're actively thinking about how to make it better. That's the reflective practitioner at work. So we have here the Gibbs reflective cycle. It is a structured way to think about your experiences and learn from them. It's like a step-by-step guide for reflection. So first is description. So start by describing the experience you want to reflect on, like what happened, what were you involved in. Be specific and factual. Second is your feelings. What were your feelings during the experience? What emotions did you feel? Were you happy, sad, frustrated, or excited? And the third one is evaluation. So think about the experience. What went well? What didn't go well? What were the positive and negative aspects? So fourth one is analysis. Try to understand why things happened the way they did. So what factors influence the situation? What could you have done differently? So fifth, conclusion. What did you learn from these experiences? What new insight or understanding did you gain? So we have here the last one, which is the action plan. So based on your reflections, how will you apply what you've learned? What will you do differently in the future? So for example is think of it like a detective investigating a case. You gathered information, analyze it, drew conclusions, and then use that knowledge to solve the mystery and prevent similar situation in the future. Reflective thinking is a powerful tool in education, and it can be applied in many ways to enhance student learning. So here's some educational implication that can be used to foster reflective thinking in the classroom. So first one is group work. Group work encourages students to consider different perspectives, challenge their own assumptions, and work collaboratively to solve problems. So this process naturally lead to reflection as they analyze their own contributions in the group overall process. So like for example, after a group project, students can discuss their rules, what worked well, what could have been done better, and how they can improve their collaboration skills for future projects. Second, encourage students to develop higher order thinking skills. So, higher order thinking skills require students to go beyond memorization and engage in deeper thinking. So, reflective thinking helps them to analyze information, make connections, and form their conclusions. Like, instead of just asking for factual answers, teacher can pose open-ended questions like that require students to analyze, synthesize, and evaluate information. They can encourage students to reflect on their thinking process and how they arrive at their answers. Third one is allocating sufficient wait time. So, giving students ample time to think before responding allows them to process information, formulate their thoughts, and consider different perspectives. So, this encourages them to reflect on what they know and how they can apply it. Like, for example, after asking a question, a teacher should wait for a few seconds before calling on a student to answer. So, this provides time for students to reflect on the question and come up with a thoughtful response. So, the fourth one is providing situations to do research. Research projects encourage students to explore topics in depth, gather information, and analyze findings. So, this process requires critical thinking and reflection as they evaluate the resources, synthesize information, and draw conclusions. Um, For example, students can conduct research on a topic of interest, present their findings, and then reflect on the process, highlighting highlighting what they learned and how they can improve their research skills. Fifth, develops creativity. Reflective thinking helps students explore their own ideas, experiment with different approaches, and think outside the box. This fosters creativity as they challenge assumptions, generate new ideas, and find innovative solutions. Like for example, teachers can encourage students to brainstorm creative solutions to problems, reflect on their ideas, and then refine them based on their own analysis and feedback from others. So the last one is provide opportunities to be lifelong learners and growth. So reflective thinking is a key component of lifelong learning. By encouraging students to reflect on their learning experiences, they develop a growth mindset, identify areas for improvement, and take ownership of their learning journey. Like for example, teachers can incorporate reflective journaling into their curriculum, where students can reflect their progress, identify their strengths and weaknesses, and set goals for future learning. And therefore, by incorporating these educational implications of reflective thinking into teaching practices, we educators can create a learning environment that encourages students to think critically, creatively, and independently. So, this will empower us to become lifelong learners who are equipped to thrive in a constantly evolving world. Here is some tools for reflective thinking. So first is reflective journal. So a personal notebook where you write down your thoughts, feelings, and experiences related to a particular topic. So journaling allows you to process your thoughts and emotions, analyze your experiences, and identify patterns or insights. It encourages self reflection and personal growth. Like, for example, a student might keep a journal to reflect on their learning process in a specific course, noting challenges, successes, and areas for improvement. So, the second one is peer observations, a process where individuals observe each other's work, behaviors, and presentation and provide feedback. Um, these provide external perspectives and insight that can help individuals identify strengths and weaknesses they might not see on their own. It fosters collaboration in learning from each other. Like, for example, students in a group project can observe each other's contributions and provide constructive feedback on their communication, teamwork, and problem solving skills. So, we have heard the third one, which is the student feedback. So, collecting feedback from students about their learning experiences, teaching methods, and course materials. So, it helps how it helps. Student feedback provides valuable information for teachers to reflect on their teaching practices and make adjustments to improve student learnings. And also, it gives students a voice and empowers them to active participants in their education. Like for example, teachers can use surveys, online forums, or individual interviews to gather student feedback on their teaching styles, course content, and overall learning experience. This feedback can then be used to refine teaching strategies and adapt curriculum and enhance student engagement. Remember that the key to effective um, reflective thinking is to use these tools consistently and to be honest and open in your reflections. Reflective teaching is a powerful tool for educators and it brings many benefits. So, first is enhanced teaching quality. So, when teachers reflect on their teaching practices, they become more aware of their strengths and weaknesses. They can analyze what works well in their classroom and what needs improvement. So, this leads to better planning, more effective instruction, and more engaging learning environment for students. Like for example, a teacher might reflect on a lesson where students struggled to understand a concept. So by analyzing the lesson, the teacher might realize they need to use different teaching strategies or provide more scaffolding for students. So the other one is culture of professional development. Reflective teaching fosters a culture of continuous learning and improvement within a school or educational institution. So, when teachers regularly reflect on their practice and share their insights with colleagues, they create a supportive and collaborative environment where everyone can learn and grow. Like for example, a school might implement a reflective teaching program where students, I mean, where teachers met meet regular to discuss their experiences, share best practices, and learn from each other. So this creates a culture of professional development where teachers can constantly seeking ways to improve their teaching skills. Instead, reflective teaching helps teachers to become more effective, knowledgeable, and adaptable. It fosters a culture of continuous learning and improvement, leading to better outcomes for both teachers and students.